Good morning. Welcome to our webinar today. Today's webinar is focusing on the NEC SV8100. And today we're going to be talking about the latest software for the 8100 called R8. My name is Richard Evans, and I appreciate the time you're taking with us. This will be about 20 minutes, and what I'd like to do is cover off a little bit of history on the 8100 in terms of recent releases. What have they brought to the table? What new major features are released in R8? How can I upgrade? So if you are currently in software assurance, I'll step you through how that process works. And if you're not in software assurance and you need these new features, how do you get them? Finally, I'll finish off with a few slides on what else is coming from NEC, those relating to new features, new capabilities that are planned for the 8100 over the next few months. So the 8100 was a product that was originally released in about late 2008, and since then it's gone through 8 software releases. Typically they're being added at about the rate of one every 4 to 6 months, and those features, those releases add new core features. So things like SIP trunks, technology that's emerged since the 8100 was released in 2008. They're added with new software releases. Another reason for software releases is to add integration with other applications. So in R7, as we'll see, NEC released their unified communications package for the 8100. And one of the key integration pieces that were supported on that was for customers that might use a hosted CRM system, such as Salesforce.com. What R7 allowed you to do was link the unified communications package in the 8100 with Salesforce.com and really allow the system to report to the Salesforce what calls were being made, and also do screen pops for people that were calling in, would do a screen pop out of Salesforce.com. So a very popular application. Then the final reason that NEC comes out with a regular series of software releases is that as software is released, any sort of bug fixes and patches that are discovered during that software, all of those bug fixes and patches are incorporated into the next release. So keeping your software current has lots of advantages, both functional in terms of new features and capabilities, but also stability of the software as well. So keeping your software up to date is important, both from a business and from an efficiency point of view. I'll go back a little bit to about a year and talk very briefly about release R6. It was released in December 2011. And some of the major elements that were introduced with R6, one was teleworker connections without using hardware VPN. So as staff were becoming decentralized, people working from home, what R6 allowed you to do is have an IP phone, an NEC IP phone sitting at home, connected without using a hardware virtual private network connection. This was a big advantage because what it would do is it would allow you to move your remote IP phone around without having to take other bits and pieces of hardware with you. The second element that was introduced with R6 was that voicemail messages could be sent to your email account. This was a popular feature 5 years ago, but it often required that customers use Microsoft Exchange for their email. And since many small businesses don't use Microsoft Exchange, NEC has allowed you to now send to just standard email. So voicemail messages are recorded in your voicemail box, they stay there, but they can also be emailed to your smartphone and played on that mobile device as well. A third element of R6 really starts to bring in enhanced SIP support. So SIP is the industry standard for devices, whether they are network connections, so think of phone lines coming into your phone system. On your internet connection are SIP lines, SIP trunks as they're called, but devices that are in your office, so iPads, iPhones, smartphones, and also some dedicated wireless phones. The ones that we're showing here are, these devices here are a Polycom device that are very rugged, industrial strength type wireless phones that run on your local area network. So the ability of the 8100 in R6 was enhanced to support all of these devices. So if I'm in an industrial application and I want to have a rugged phone back in the plant, something that's not fragile, something that's not using cellular minutes, then this is a very popular way to go. For knowledge workers, you can also put a SIP, what's called a SIP client, into your iPhone or your Android or your BlackBerry. And that will allow you to use your wireless phone, your mobile phone, as an extension of the phone system. Again, not using wireless minutes to do that. Later in mid-2012, R7 was released, and the major enhancement in R7 was a unified communications package called Desktop 5.0. And it's a set of tools that allows knowledge workers at their desktop. It allows people that are mobile. It allows receptionists to get a whole new set of tools to make themselves more efficient. Some of the notes here, it allows me to dial from my Outlook contacts. So if I'm sitting in my Outlook, which is typically active on everybody's desktop, you can actually select contacts and dial directly from that. If I do that using my keypad and my mouse, my phone automatically goes off hook, and the call is completed. Presence is the ability for me to broadcast my current state of activity. So if I'm in a meeting, out of the office, in Do Not Disturb, on vacation, all of those things I can set as my presence and then push that out to other people in my workspace that need to know that. So a receptionist, for example, using the screen in the lower right there, can see using very intuitive icons what everyone's doing. So think of it as a really enhanced version of the traditional attendant panel that sits beside the main reception phone. Much more information, allows me to chat. I can text message people in the office, and really turns the reception position into a real power management tool. It has an instant messaging component to it as well. So the benefit there being that I'm not exposing my staff to public domain instant messaging, which can really cut productivity rather than increase it. So instant messaging allows me to do IM between staff. CRM integration, I alluded to that a little bit earlier on when I was talking about Salesforce.com. So as clients use a CRM system, Salesforce.com, I believe, is one of the biggest CRM systems in the world right now. Primarily, it's used in a hosted environment. And what this does, it really creates a relationship between the phone system and that CRM database, so that an incoming call will do a screen pop, and I can dial directly on an outgoing call directly from the CRM. If you need more information on that, it's all on our website, just ecitech.ca, UC Desktop 5.0 videos. That brings us to release R8, which was released in late November 2012. And it has two major enhancements, both related to the contact center. In R7, actually, skills-based routing was introduced, and what that allows people that are using NEC's contact center application called NACD, it allows me to create skill levels of different agents. So those skill levels could be just knowledge on a particular product. It could be language, all sorts of things that allows me to be an agent that's logged into different queues at the same time, but with different skill levels. So if I'm providing technical support on 3 different products, I can have different queues for those different products, and my skill level may be very high on product A but quite low on product B. So depending on where I am in those priority levels is going to determine how frequently am I going to get a call for that type of a request, product A, product B, product C. So it's a very efficient way to use contact center stuff. And just another enhancement that's being made for NEC's contact center application. In R8, they enhanced it even further by providing something called caller ID-based routing. And that's a scenario where if a contact center is interacting with the customer, all information needs to be delivered. If that person calls back, they don't go back into the general pool. They actually end up coming back to the agent that dealt with them the last time. So again, they don't have to go over the whole background and history to a particular situation and just deliver the additional info and get their issue resolved. So we get many questions from clients asking, how do I upgrade to the latest software release? Well, there's really two ways to do it. One is via NEC Software Assurance, and Software Assurance is an NEC subscription program that is typically sold with the system when it's first installed. Our team internally contacts customers at the end of that first year warranty period and subscription period and offers extended services from ECI relating to support services, hardware coverage, and software assurance. So if you are on software assurance, your upgrade is included in your software assurance agreement. It includes an ECI technician visit, so we'll come out during business hours, and with a UCB key, we will upload the new software and do a system restart. So system restart usually takes about 2 minutes, so we'll typically do this around lunchtime or at the end of the day. For clients that have a requirement that we do that after hours, we can do that at an additional charge. For customers that are not on software assurance, there is a one-time fee to get reinstated, and then you're back on a regular automatic update process. So Chris Roche, EC Inside Sales, is responsible within ECI, and his email is there at croche@ecitech.ca, or just call us 519-664-9134. Press 2 on the attendant and you get Chris. Okay, a few more slides, and these are all focused on what is in the development roadmap for NEC and the SV8100. The first slide here is showing a new device that is a gig IP phone. The standard offering for IP phones on the 8100 are 10100 speeds, so the phone has a 100 megabit per second port, two-port device in the base of the set. So the set plugs into the wall, and the associated PC or desktop plugs into the base of the set. So for customers that have made that investment in gigabit speeds for their local area network, this really is the type of phone for them. It's available both with a color display and for people with a more sensitive price point as a grayscale display. But what this allows you to do is have full gig pass-through to the desktop PC. The roadmap for the new IP phones is that they will have an inset USB connector, so I can upload, download, I can run photos, things like that on my display. It will also plan to have a Bluetooth adapter for it as well. So if I'm using a Bluetooth headset, and I can just drop a Bluetooth USB insert right into that plug, and now I can interact and pair my Bluetooth headset to my phone. And then the final thing, the thing that everybody needs on their desktop, is fewer device chargers. What you'll be able to do is plug your device directly into the phone that will charge it up. As noted there, release date and availability are to be announced. That's really driven by NEC. Second major element on the development path is an enhancement to something that NEC already has. This is a sliding blade that goes into an 8100, and right now it's just used for audio conferencing. So I can use a web interface to set up conferences, email information and passwords to participants. And they've had that on the market for about 2 years now. What they're doing is enhancing that package. So to build on the audio conferencing, they're going to add video. So I can do point to multi-point video, as well as web conferencing. So things like GoToMeeting or webinar, you'll be able to host yourself rather than paying out of the service. It will have a mass notification capability. So if I need to send voicemail, email, text messages, and so on to a large group of people, I'm able to do that with this application as well. So it's a great way to get information quickly. So whether I'm at school, whether I'm a municipality, a club, anything, I've got the ability to send out that information automatically from this collaboration application. Again, release date and availability is to be announced from NEC. And finally, I wanted to show this device, the penetration of mobile devices, iPads, iPhones, Androids, and similar devices is just taking off at amazing rates in office environments. There are some generic devices like this available that are just standard SIP devices, but NEC is bringing a device that will allow me to essentially have a docking station for my iPhone or my iPad, and then the phone handset becomes just a very, very high quality speakerphone and audio path device. The smarts remain, the contact directory, all of those things remain right in the smartphone itself. Again, release date and availability TBA from NEC. I'd encourage you to visit the ECI website. We've tried and keep it up to date for all sorts of pieces of information. So new product announcements, pricing promotions, specials, release updates, any migration programs that we've got running are all available and can be viewed on the website. We've also got the ECI blog that I'll bring to your attention. It's a great resource for education. So what we've been doing there is putting on articles that are you know, what's the value of SIP and how does call recording help drive revenue in my business? All those sorts of things that we're really trying to make it an informational type of resource for you. So just go to the website, click on the ECI blog section here, and you'll be into the blog page. That's all I had for today. I thank everyone for joining. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact us either through email at ecitech.ca or call us at 519-624-9134. Thanks for your time.